Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Lavender, and I'm an ACA 122 instructor at Forsyth Technical Community College. We're here today to talk about cost of attendance. And sometimes it's referred to as COA when you start talking to the financial aid office, both at Forsyth Tech and in particular at your four-year school that you're planning to go to. And let's just take a look at something. This is from the Forsyth Tech page of financial aid. Let me adjust the screen here so you can see it. And notice it includes tuition and books and supplies and transportation. It estimates for that. And you notice where it says students without dependents and students living with parents and so forth. So that's important to note that you have that while you're here at Forsyth Tech. Now, I wanted to go over to UNC-Charlotte. Now, UNC-Charlotte has a pretty good website showing you very simply what cost of attendance is. Even if you're not interested in going to UNC-Charlotte, you can come out here and take a look at their website. It's on the financial aid page. So we're going to take a look at this. Now, this is the total cost of going to college. You have your tuition, fees, you have to live, you have to eat. You're going to have transportation and books and supplies. Direct cost, you notice, come through on your bill. So that's where the tuition and fees, on-campus housing. So if you're going to live in a dorm or a student apartment, a lot of the four-year schools have those now, or have a meal plan, and commuter students can have a meal plan. And health insurance, which is now a requirement at the four-year campuses. And you can get a minimal health insurance through the four-year school unless you're covered by something else, either your employment or your parents' employment. Now, that's something that is very dynamic. You want to check, for example, if you're not going to your four-year school for another year or two, things like this could always change. But as it stands now, you do have to have proof of health insurance. Indirect cost, okay, are off-campus housing, transportation, miscellaneous, and books and supplies. Although some colleges will let you charge the books and supplies to your financial aid, that's not really on your bill. And there you can also set up a payment plan as you can here. But let's take a look at this undergraduate cost of attendance. Now, let's take a look at new undergraduates for 2020 and 2021. We're going to look that you're in state. We're going to think that you possibly are. Now, notice where you have differing amounts at home, on campus, off campus. And when you filled out the FAFSA, you remember they asked you where you were going to live. So how you answered on the FAFSA is going to depend on what comes through on your financial aid award. And obviously, if something were to change, if you weren't going to live with your parents anymore, you're going to get an apartment, then you would want to go to the financial aid office of that school, and they're probably going to ask you to redo the FAFSA. But notice here, notice the tuition and the fees, the loan fees, if any, and the books and supplies are all the same. Okay, they're all the same. Now we're going to come down to meals and housing. Well, take a look. If you're living at home, you're just getting a small amount, whereas if you were to live on an apartment, I'm going to scroll back up, off campus you get some, and on campus, dorms are fairly expensive. Meals obviously are going to be more if you are not living with a family member. But notice how transportation Goes down a little if you're living on campus. Presumably you're going to walk to school. And then miscellaneous kind of stays the same. So as you can see, living at home is a little bit less expensive than being out on your own or living in a dormitory. But this is just one thing to look at. Now, the question for you to ask the financial aid office at the four-year school you're going to is, do you offer a financial aid package? Do you package to cost of attendance? Now over here, this explains it really well. It goes out and talks about it a little bit. Will financial aid pay for all my expenses and so forth? But you need to ask that school. There are some schools that still perhaps do not package to cost of attendance. Now, I hope this has been helpful. This is just on UNC-Charlotte's website. You could also go out and look at the four-year school of your choice. And if you have any questions, just ask your ACA 122 teacher and we can get you to the right place. Thanks again.